Every year, you plant your beans. Every year, they die. And every year, you do the whole thing again. But there is a legume called pigeon pea that you plant once, and it keeps producing for the next 20 years. Higher protein than soybeans. Fixes more nitrogen than almost any plant on Earth. Feeds 700 million people every single day. And most people in the Western world have never even heard of it. Let me show you exactly what this plant can do. Pigeon pea. Scientific name, Cajanus cajun. Also known as Tordao, Arhar dao, Gungo peas, or Congo peas, depending on which part of the world you are in. Different names because this plant is known and loved across the entire tropical world. Pigeon pea originated in India. Archaeological evidence places its domestication at approximately 4,000 years BC, making it one of the oldest cultivated crops in human history. From India, it spread westward into Africa, where it became a staple across the entire continent. It reached the Caribbean and the Americas through the African diaspora, carried by people who understood its extraordinary value. Today, pigeon pea is cultivated on over 12 million acres worldwide. India alone accounts for over 60% of global production. The crop feeds populations across South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, the Caribbean, Central America, and the Pacific Islands. In India, the split seed of the pigeon pea, known as Tordao, is eaten in almost every household, almost every day. It is the backbone of Indian vegetarian cuisine. Billions of people have relied on this single legume across thousands of years. And in the United States, Canada, most of Europe, almost nobody grows it. Almost nobody has heard of it. So what exactly makes pigeon pea so remarkable? And why does the Western world not know about it? Both of those answers are genuinely fascinating. To understand why pigeon pea matters, you first need to understand nitrogen. Nitrogen is the single most critical nutrient for plant growth. Without it, crops are stunted, pale, and unproductive. American farmers spend approximately $80 billion on synthetic nitrogen fertilizer every single year. It is one of the single largest costs in all of farming. Pigeon pea eliminates that cost. Like all legumes, pigeon pea forms a relationship with rhizobium bacteria in its root nodules. These bacteria pull nitrogen directly from the atmosphere and feed it to the plant for free. But pigeon pea is not just any nitrogen fixer. Research from ICRISAT, the International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, shows pigeon pea fixes between 40 and 80 pounds of nitrogen per acre per year. Common beans, 30 to 50 pounds. Soybeans, similar. Pigeon pea fixes significantly more than either. And here's the part that genuinely changes everything. Pigeon pea does not just feed itself with that nitrogen. A significant portion stays in the soil. Farmers across India and Africa have practiced pigeon pea rotation for thousands of years, and the cereal crops planted the following year yield 20 to 40% more, without a single gram of synthetic fertilizer applied. The deep taproot of pigeon pea, reaching up to 2 meters into the soil, also breaks up compacted ground. When the plant dies, that root system decomposes, adding organic matter deep in the soil profile, where other plants cannot reach. Pigeon pea does not just feed the current crop. It builds the soil for every crop that follows. Now here is a quick growing tip. Because pigeon pea fixes its own nitrogen, never add synthetic nitrogen fertilizer to it. Adding nitrogen fertilizer actually makes the plant lazy. It stops fixing its own. Let it do what it does naturally, and it will reward you. Now wait, because here's the part that most people completely miss about pigeon pea. We have been talking about what it does for your soil, but what it does for your plate is equally extraordinary. Dried pigeon pea seeds contain approximately 21 to 22% protein, comparable to soybeans, significantly higher than common beans. But the real advantage is not the percentage. It is the total production. In warm climates, pigeon pea yields 2,000 to 4,000 pounds of dried seeds per acre. And in tropical climates, where it is perennial, that same planting delivers that harvest year after year, for 3 to 5 years, and sometimes longer. Think about what that means. One planting, multiple harvests, year after year from the same plant. The total lifetime production from a single tropical pigeon pea planting vastly exceeds what annual beans could produce from the same land over the same period. The protein quality is also excellent. Pigeon pea contains all essential amino acids. In traditional cuisines, figured out the perfect pairing thousands of years ago. Dal and rice in India, rice and pigeon peas in the Caribbean. These combinations are nutritionally complete. Beyond protein, pigeon pea is rich in dietary fiber, iron, potassium, magnesium, and B vitamins including folate. 1 cup of cooked pigeon peas delivers approximately 11 grams of fiber, 40% of the daily recommended intake, for 1 cup of a cheap, abundant legume. That is genuinely remarkable. And pigeon pea is delicious. The split seed, dal, cooks quickly into a smooth, rich, protein-packed stew. Whole seeds behave like chickpeas, excellent in soups, salads, and curries. Young green pods are eaten like snap peas straight from the plant. The science behind pigeon pea is not hidden folklore. It is decades of rigorous published research from some of the most respected institutions in the world. ICRISAT has dedicated decades to pigeon pea improvement, developing hundreds of improved varieties with higher yields, better drought tolerance, and disease resistance. The FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, classifies pigeon pea as one of the most important legume crops for global food security. A landmark study published in the journal Plant and Soil documented pigeon pea's extraordinary ability to mobilize phosphorus from soil compounds that other plants simply cannot access. Pigeon pea literally mines nutrients that would otherwise stay locked underground. Research from Cornell University identified pigeon pea as significantly underexplored in the United States, given its demonstrated performance in comparable climates globally. The gap is not science. The gap is simply awareness. So why does most of the Western world not grow pigeon pea? The honest answer is genuinely interesting and simpler than most people expect. The primary reason is climate. Pigeon pea's greatest advantage, its perennial nature, only applies in frost-free tropical and subtropical climates. In temperate zones, pigeon pea is killed by frost. Its perennial advantage disappears. This is a genuine limitation, not a conspiracy. Simply a plant that evolved in the tropics, performing best where it evolved. Temperate farmers naturally developed agriculture around plants that thrived where they lived. The second reason is culinary unfamiliarity. Dal is completely standard in South Asian households, but in American and European kitchens, it simply is not part of the culinary vocabulary. Food culture changes slowly. Neither of these reasons are permanent. And for anyone in a warm climate, pigeon pea is one of the most underutilized opportunities in backyard and small-scale farming today. So how do you actually grow pigeon pea? Let's make this completely practical. Climate first. Pigeon pea thrives as a perennial in USDA zones 9 through 13, southern Florida, Hawaii, southern Texas, Puerto Rico. Plant it once and let it produce for years. In zones 7 and 8, pigeon pea works as an annual. Plant after the last frost. Harvest before the first frost. 4 to 5 months growing season. You won't get the perennial advantage, but you still get a great harvest and significant nitrogen benefit for your soil. Starting from seed, direct sow. Do not transplant. The taproot does not like being disturbed. Plant seeds 1 inch deep, 12 to 18 inches apart, in rows 3 feet apart. Seeds germinate in 5 to 10 days in warm soil. Maintenance: full sun, well-draining soil, no nitrogen fertilizer. It fixes its own. Water consistently for the first 2 weeks. After that, the deep taproot handles drought on its own. Genuinely one of the lowest maintenance food crops you can grow. Harvest. Pods turn brown and dry when mature. Harvest pods, thresh to release seeds. Dry thoroughly. Store in a cool, dry place. Dried pigeon peas store for several years. In tropical climates, harvest pods continuously as they mature across multiple seasons. After main harvest each year, cut the plant back lightly to encourage strong new growth for next season. Where to get seeds? Baker Creek heirloom seeds, strictly medicinal seeds, and various online suppliers specializing in tropical crops all carry pigeon pea. Seeds are inexpensive, enough to plant a productive patch for just a few dollars. Quick question before you go. Had you ever heard of pigeon pea before this video? Drop yes or no in the comments right now. I genuinely want to know how many people watching already cook with tourdough every day, and how many are discovering this crop for the very first time today. Pigeon pea, 6,000 years of cultivation, 700 million people eating it every single day, fixes more nitrogen than almost any other legume. Perennial in warm climates, producing from the same plant for years, and one of the most underutilized opportunities in Western gardening today. If this video showed you a crop worth adding to your garden, subscribe to Famine Plant Secrets. We uncover extraordinary forgotten plants every single week.